don't need my phone.
Leader home.
Hey, how are you? I'm gonna stand in the back and hide from Beth back here.
Did you just say that?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Normally I start out, so we're mixing it up today.
What? We all here?
Yeah.
We ready to get started?
We're the full time.
We good? Okay.
Staggered, okay? Just don't get my shoes. No one's gonna see your shoes. Yeah, I hate doing that. Yeah.
We're a little out of practice this morning, aren't we?
No.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. And I just would like to thank the leader for this honor of this opportunity of leading this team, and the staff and everybody who poured in their time and their talents into putting this piece of legislation together. And it's just something that's so important that we put the students first. And clearly we're here today because Michigan schools are not preparing our students for graduation. And I could point to 100 different statistics, but it boils down to this. Our kids can't read, they're struggling with math, and graduates finish high school without the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in their next steps. And I can give an example of that as I have been meeting with business owners this summer. A few have shown me job applications, and those job applications are not written clearly. Some of them aren't coherent, and it breaks their hearts because these are good kids and that just don't have the skill set, but yet they were given a state certified diploma. So clearly our education system is failing, and the education policy we've seen in Lansing these last 2 years has really taken us in the wrong direction. We've seen standards lowered, vital information taken away from parents, and potential solutions buried in committees. The most recent state budget raided teacher retirement funds, denied schools their annual per pupil funding increase, and gutted our school safety programs. Our children deserve a strong foundation of practical skills. Parents should have the right to have an active role in shaping education, and teachers need the right support to help them succeed in classrooms. It's time we come together to create a meaningful plan that lifts up our students, parents, and teachers. And that's why the House Republicans are here today. We are offering a plan focused on 3 parts: helping students, helping parents, and supporting our teachers. The first piece of our plan is a budget proposal introduced by Representative Nancy DeBoer, which addresses one of the top concerns we've heard from parents and teachers in every corner of our state. I'm going to now hand it over to Representative DeBoer.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. And how about those Lions? It was a good weekend, right? Here we go. So the new Michigan K-12 education budget cut 92% of the funding from mental health and school safety, which left many people on both sides of the aisle confused and dismayed. It diverted money from teacher retirement payments to other initiatives. And despite inflation, this budget granted no per pupil increase. As a former high school English teacher, my heart beats for students discovering their unique gifts and realizing their own talented potential, no matter what the future holds. It's our job to come through for them, and that's why I'm excited about this plan. The students of Michigan deserve safe and effective schools. Their parents deserve it. Their teachers deserve it. And we are working to make it happen. This plan fully restores the school safety and mental health funding that was cut in this year's budget. That was a mistake, so I voted no on that short-sighted plan. Our local schools have been outraged by these cuts, and we need to fix it as soon as possible before our children's counselors and school resource officers are laid off. That's why we're running this budget plan now. Of course, there's a lot of work to give schools the resources they need. School administrators should be supported during these inflationary times, and with the increases in per pupil funding. Michigan teachers deserve respect in the classroom and support in retirement with a fully funded pension system as promised. Once funded, billions would be released for the classroom. Those are things we hope to work on and fight for in this next year's budget. But the school safety costs are going to lead to layoffs and canceled programs if we don't fix this now, this school year. Many students are suffering from extreme psychological issues from the pandemic. And that's why we're running a budget to fix it as soon as possible. I don't think our students can wait another year to have these issues addressed. When Michigan students can think critically, weigh ideas, create solutions, and communicate intelligently, we all prosper. When they have purpose and passion, families thrive, businesses flourish, and communities grow. When government accepted the responsibility to educate children, we promised to help prepare them for life so that they could pursue happiness. In Michigan, promises made are promises kept. Michigan is worth it, and each child is worth it. And now Jamie's, our representative, will continue the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative DeBoer. All right, so ensuring our schools are fully supported is absolutely crucial, and we need to make sure our kids are getting the right education with the resources that they are given, and that is where policy reforms come in. No matter what zip code students live in, they must graduate high school, workforce, or college ready. Right now, the system is not meeting their needs. Our kids need more and better pathways to success. And that's why I'm sponsoring critical changes to Michigan's merit curriculum. Our plan updates graduation requirements to give students more flexibility and essentially a buffet of options that match their interests. It allows for more opportunities for college prep courses like computer coding, hands-on training like fields in construction math, and life skills such as personal finance. It also makes it easier for students to take career technical education and dual enrollment classes while expanding trade school programs to count towards graduation. This not only prepares students for life after graduation, but it also saves parents money on those early years of tuition, and really it's a win for everyone. Another key component of our plan is a pilot program that takes a new approach to standardized testing. For our younger students, most of their school year is currently spent building up to that M-step, the dreaded M-step at the end of the year. Then, results don't come in until after the school year has ended, which makes it difficult to track student progress and make real-time adjustments. Our plan includes pilot programs that would spread testing out throughout the year so teachers and parents can quickly identify and address learning difficulties. This approach also takes the pressure off the year-end tests and in hopes to limit test preparation, which we know causes so much stress for everyone involved. Testing essentially should be a celebration of the content that students learn throughout the year, and it shouldn't be as stressful as it is. We're also committed to addressing some of the things that bog teachers down and take away from instruction, because at the heart of education are our teachers, individuals who choose this profession not just to teach a subject, but to inspire, nurture, and equip the next generation with the tools that they need for life. Their dedication goes far beyond lesson plans, and it's about fostering curiosity, building confidence, and shaping futures. That's why it's crucial we support and value their work in every way possible. I know how difficult it can be at times to manage my own 2 kids, so I can't imagine what it's like to manage a classroom full of 30+ children. Our plan takes a look at classroom sizes to better understand how we can help teachers and students achieve their full potential. Our plan also makes sure teachers have what they need to succeed before they even enter the classroom. And this is done by making sure Michigan colleges teach future educators the science of reading and ensuring that all teachers are prepared to help students build a strong foundation. The plan also calls for the Department of Education to review the standards for reading, math, and science, and ensuring every teacher has the best tools in their toolbox to build a solid foundation for learning. Furthermore, a recent MSU report showed that schools are using 444 different curriculum resources for English language arts alone. While a variety can be beneficial, the report found that only half of the 10 most used resources meet research-based expectations. Having the MDE review these curriculums and then make recommendations will ensure schools have reliable, research-backed resources available for tools that they can use as well. We also recognize that burdensome requirements are making it difficult for well-qualified teachers to teach other subject areas without going back to school to earn a new endorsement. Meanwhile, school districts throughout the state are struggling to fulfill their vacancies. Our plan will streamline the process, allowing teachers to obtain a subject area endorsement based solely on the passage of the Michigan test for teacher certification for that subject area. We are also waiving many fees for our teachers who are currently required to hand over to the state just to stay certified so that they can do their jobs. Our plan ensures teachers can focus on what they do best, and that's teaching, without being weighed down by the burdensome costs. Altogether, this is a comprehensive plan that will help ensure Michigan's children are prepared for the future while also supporting parents and teachers who play a crucial role in their success. And we thank you all for being here today. And now I'm going to turn it over to Leader Hall to make some closing statements, and then we will be taking questions. Thank you.
Hello. What a great job. What a great job. So, I see a lot of photos, and you saw, if you walk down my hallway, all the lights are off on the Democrat side at the Capitol. And we see a lot of pictures of Speaker Tate out campaigning for the architects of these cuts. People like Betsy Kofia and Nate Shannon and Denise Menser, and Jen Hill, people that were architects of this 92% cut for mental health and school safety funding, right? They're just gutting counselors. They're forcing these districts in the future to decide between new textbooks and counselors and school resource officers. And I get it. They got to be out campaigning to put spin on that, right? Because that's a pretty tough record when people see that. The first time in 20 years, there was no funding increase for the per pupil allowance for K through 12. So I get that, but what I told our team is we need a policy plan to fix education, something the Democrats haven't done in this 2 years. You've seen them repeal a lot of things. They repeal things that would help us to measure whether our schools are working and whether there's accountability for our kids and for our teachers. But we wanted to put together some substantive things that would actually improve education. And one thing that we've heard and seen a lot about is people are looking for their kids to learn real life skills. That's what people in Michigan want. They feel like they need more flexibility to do that. And so we came up with a way to do that, and I give Nancy DeBoer and Jamie Green and all these members that have been working on this a lot of credit. It's a great plan. It's a real plan, and it's something we can introduce. And if the Democrats won't do it because they're out campaigning and trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the voters on their record on education, then we'll be ready to do this next year when we take the House back and I'm the Speaker. I wanted a plan that we'd be ready to do now or next year. And you look at this, I think it's something with the flexibility in education, real life skills, restoring the school safety funding and our counselor funding. Now, I saw this, and these are not friends of mine normally, this Robert McCann, who is a Democrat and runs that K through 12 Alliance, is saying that teachers will be laid off because of this plan that the Democrats pushed through the House and the governor signed. These are not good plans, and they're going to harm education. So we'll restore the funding for school safety. We'll increase funding for schools because every teacher should get a pay increase in this state. and they deserve it. And then we're going to push further into policy reforms. This isn't just repealing what they did, right? It's that's how they view things. It's a very negative governing mentality when you come in and you say, we're just going to repeal what they did. That's why there's new ideas here, things that'll make curriculums work better for students and will get good results. I think you look at these Sept scores for reading, they were not very good. They were, I think, the worst in 10 years. And you look at these statistics about the number of kids, I think it's 7 out of 10 kids can't read, 7 out of 10 kids can't do math, in the different grades that measure it. So what we need is we need to step in earlier and start assessing whether this is working. And so I think, revising this Sept test in order to give people points where they can look at it and say, is it working, so they can intervene quicker? Because we need our kids to read and we need them to know how to do math. So I'll stop there. We'll bring others up, and Jamie and I will answer any questions you have. It's nice to see everybody again. I've missed you.
Have you though?
I miss them. Yeah, I like the press. I've missed you, so it's nice to see you all again. I wish we were together more, and maybe we will. Maybe Speaker Tate will read this and say, we're going back to session and we're going to run your bills. What do you think?
I would love that.
He might, because it's a lot of good ideas here. All right. Well, good. Oh, well, yes, hello.
Yeah, you sound like you missed us. So after the budget was passed, they said there was about $320 million on the books left. So if you restore this mental health funding, increase per pupil, there doesn't seem to be enough money to do that. So where do you propose that money comes from?
Yeah, so here's what I would say. They left money on the balance sheet, and you know why they left it there? They left it there because they want to spend it tearing down the Renaissance Center and putting light rail all over, because they think the solution to our problems is more light rail, and I understand that. But I would say a bigger problem that we need to solve is our failing education system in our state. And so the first step is restoring the school safety funding and mental health funding. I think the money should go to school safety funding and mental health funding, so teachers don't, or these school administrators don't have to choose between, should we lay off counselors, should we lay off school resource officers, or should we have textbooks and invest in our curriculum? They shouldn't have to make those choices, and that's why we would spend the money on that. And then the rest they want to give away probably for more Chinese battery plants. But that's what they want to do, and we stopped that. If you remember, at the end of the session, we stopped it. The Republicans were unified against that plan, and we stopped it, and they left the money on the balance sheet because they're going to come back and try to do it again. And I would suggest instead we spend the money that's left on restoring the funding of those cuts. And I think many of our schools would agree that we need school safety, we need counselors, and we need mental health funding, and we need school resource officers. And that's more important than Chinese battery plants, light rail, and tearing down the Renaissance Center.
So that would just be the money for restoring the mental health and safety. What about money for implementing this plan?
So the supplemental that we're going to introduce, and Nancy's doing a great job. Is there anything you want to say about it? I can answer, but do you want to say anything about your supplemental, or you want me?
Yeah, well, we would address the pension less payments in the next session, as well as the other per pupil funding. We'd bring that back next year with the new budget. But it's the school safety and the mental health that we decided has to happen now because they are going to face cuts October with this budget.
And you're going to introduce that.
Yes, we'll be introducing that.
So how much is the supplemental going to be?
This,
You're proposing?
301 million, and then it'll be 2 million also to restore the commission. They took away the mental health commission as well. And so those people are really dedicated, national experts on all these things, and so we really want to reestablish that as well. So it'd be 321.
So it wouldn't increase per pupil funding?
No. There's they, money was taken out of the payments for the pension program, and so some of that money came back in various incremental amounts. But the superintendents aren't secure with that because they say that's only a one-year fix, and they really wanted per pupil funding because that's what they're most comfortable with and it's most stable and gives them what they need, especially with inflation. So we would want to do that when we can.
Right, and we're, next year, we're going to raise per pupil funding, and right now we're doing what's left on the balance sheet, which she laid out, which would be a much better use of funding than what the Democrats are proposing.
Wanted to ask about, you mentioned, I think somebody mentioned the pension issue. It sounds like Democrats may come back into session to make permanent the BIPSERS change that was made. I was wondering your thoughts on that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they come back. They were supposed to come back, the 11th and then the 18th. And some people think they'll come back the 25th. We'll see. But I'll just say this, we need to keep investing in our teachers' pension fund and our teachers' health care. We want to make sure that they have a retirement. We want to protect their retirement savings. And, they do all these funny calculations. And I've sat in some of these meetings with the governor and the treasurer, and, they're real sneaky with how they talk about these Treasury officials. But I'll just say this, we have a lot of money to go to pay it off. And, we all remember times where some people got it wrong and some of these local officials' pensions were at risk. And we don't want that to happen with our teachers. We want to make sure that everyone is investing in their pensions and that their pensions are there when they're done. And that's, an obligation that we have also to our future taxpayers is not to saddle them with that at the end, years from now, and they're behind, and then you have to cut a bunch of services in order to provide a pension. So, the state needs to honor its obligation and keep paying into pensions. And, I think it was pretty smart when Governor Snyder said, we should create a law to force the politicians to pay into these pension systems. Because they want to, you see what they do? They want to take out of it and they want to spend in other places, especially in an election year. And, they're going to be long gone when these pensions are due. And that's why it's important that everybody keeps paying into them and that we make our obligation whole. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here before you guys come up with something. So thank you. It was nice to see everybody. And, this is going to be a real good thing for the kids of Michigan. And so we're looking forward to it. And I hope you all write about it and put it on TV because it's really going to make a difference for kids. And we really are going to do a good thing returning to real life skills and teaching phonics again and science-based reading practices. So thank you, everybody.